I would ask everyone to stand for the invocation and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. Tonight's invocation is being offered by Councilmember Carter Todd.
Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this opportunity to serve the people of our city. Help us as we deliberate tonight to act with character and conviction. Help us to listen with understanding and goodwill. Help us to speak the truth with charity and restraint. Please give us a spirit of service and remind us that we are stewards of your authority. Guide us to be leaders, your people need. Help us to see the humanity and dignity of those who disagree with us and to treat all persons with the reverence your creation deserves. And finally, Father, renew us with the strength of your presence and the joy of helping to build a community worthy of the human person. We ask these things in your name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
There you go.
Without objection, we'll suspend the calling of the roll and ask the clerk to record the names of the members present throughout the meeting. Is there a motion to adopt the minutes of our January 6th meeting? We have a motion and a second. Without objection, the minutes will stand approved as written. Madam Clerk, are there any messages from the mayor?
There are no messages from the mayor.
Thank you. We have one presentation this evening. Council members Weiner, Evans, Anthony Davis, Allen, and Stein.
You okay? Okay. Thank you, Vice Mayor. How many of you have wished someone happy birthday by text, by Facebook message, or by email? Well, anybody who knew Robert Cornsweet never got a text, never got a Facebook message, and never got an email. They got a phone call. Oh, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of phone calls on your birthday, on your anniversary, and just because. Robert was just like that. And we miss him dearly. He was a wonderful friend, a great dad, a wonderful son, and he did so much for Nashville, we just wanted to share. And I'm going to highlight, I'm not going to read this word for word. Robert was a board member and a past president of Needling, Nashville, which was formerly Big Brothers of Nashville. He organized their holiday food box program that serves roughly 4,000 people every year. He was a longtime volunteer with the Nashville Humane Society, which everybody knows is near and dear to my heart. Robert owned the Bellevue Putt-Putt. He was actually known as Mr. Putt-Putt, and Anthony worked for him. And it was an amazing ride. We had a big time at Bellevue Putt-Putt. He hired local teens. He mentored the local teens, and Anthony can speak to exactly what a special guy he was. Robert and Lucy fostered 21 babies. And I'll never forget walking down the Bellevue Mall with them one time, with one baby in particular who happened to be adopted by a passerby. And there's a whole story to that, but she's doing really well. I saw her not too long ago. They fostered these babies through Miriam's Promise. And they remembered, everybody was important, everybody was worthy to Robert, and he was devoted not only to the family, but to anybody whose life he touched. Do you want to add something?
Yeah, I'll just say he was a really special man. Every kid needs that first chance, that first job. I say to this day, it was the best job I ever had. When you're 15 to 18, hanging out, used to hang out with his son Matt on the go-kart track. He was just, you just remember his smile and his warmth, his handshake. He taught everyone who worked for him a lot about business, about life. There's just a lot of kids, especially in Bellevue, but throughout Davidson County that were affected by a wonderful man.
So therefore, be it resolved by the Council of the Metro Government of Nashville and Davidson County that we go on record as honoring the life of our good friend Robert Cornsweet.
Beautiful honor. I think if he were here, he would just be smiling like crazy. Thank you for everything. And I know that it's an honor for us as a family. The whole Cornsweet family just appreciates this so much. And I know his father, Abe Cornsweet, and my father, Ed Shea, would just be, they did a lot for Nashville too. And they would be just so honored and thrilled. Thank you. Love you.
Thank you for honoring the memory of my father. Thank you.
We're now at elections and confirmations. Councilmember Harmon.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. The Rules, Confirmations, and Public Elections Committee met this evening and considered the reappointment of Dr. Ruth Ross Edmonds and the appointment of Mr. Clay Haynes to the Metro Arts Commission. We also considered the reappointment of Mr. Patrick Curran III and Ms. Lauren Gators to the Work Release Commission. These were both approved, 9 in favor, 0 opposed, and I would move their approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion passes. When I call your name, please stand and remain standing. Dr. Ruth Ross Edmonds, Clay Haynes, Patrick Curran III, and Lauren Gators, who has 40 years of service with the Work Release Program. On behalf of the entire Metropolitan Council, thank you for your willingness to serve our great city. Thank you very much. We're now at the items on our consent agenda. All we have this evening, except for the one late filed, are on the consent agenda. And I will read those as we do, and you can tell me which ones need to be pulled, possibly for separate consideration. RS 2015-1348 approves an application for major cultural institution grant from the Tennessee Arts Commission to the Nashville Arts Commission. 1349 accepts $10,000 donation from the Cities of Service to Metro Government. 1350 appropriates funds from the Fund for Cities of Service, Inc. for the implementation of volunteers to plant trees and rain gardens in areas across Nashville that have a high propensity for flooding. 1351 approves Amendment 6 to a grant from the State Emergency Management Agency to the Department of Finance to complete repairs and/or replacements to facilities damaged during April and May of 2010. 1352 approves a grant from the Tennessee Emergency Management Agency to the Office of Emergency Management to subsidize the Emergency Management Program. 1353 approves an application for a state grant to Metro Government for handling of hazardous materials in transportation incidents. 1354 approves a contract between the Metro Board of Health and Excellence Early Childhood Academy to perform activities related to the Project Diabetes Golden Sneaker Initiative program. 1355 approves a grant from the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency to the Metro Board of Health to fund an ongoing program to achieve established ambient air standards and protect human health. 1356 approves a grant from the Tennessee Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services to the Metro Social Services Commission to develop treatment service systems for veterans and other individuals experiencing homelessness. 1357 approves Amendment 2 to a grant from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services to the Metro Board of Health to enhance access to community-based care for low-income individuals and families with HIV disease. 1358 approves Amendment 3 to a grant from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services to the Metro Board of Health to enhance access to community-based care for low-income individuals and families with HIV disease. 1359 approves Amendments 3, 4, and 5 to a grant from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services to the Metro Board of Health to provide funding for the Healthy Start Home Visiting Program. 1360 approves the termination of a grant from the State Department of Environment and Conservation to the Department of Public Works for the collecting and disposing of waste tires, and instead appropriates $48,882.22 to be remitted by the state for the processing and beneficial end use of waste tires. 1361 authorizes the Palm Management Corporation to construct and install an aerial encroachment for the entrance at 1214 4th Avenue South. 1362 authorizes the Department of Law to compromise and settle the personal injury and property damage claims of Elizabeth Moss and State Farm Mutual Automotive Insurance Company against Metro Government in the amount of $11,038.06. 1363 authorizes the Metro Department of Law to compromise and settle the personal injury claim of Berlinda Bedetteli in the amount of $7,321.06. 1364 authorizes the Department of Law to compromise and settle the personal injury claim of Juanita Cantrell against Metro Government in the amount of $32,600. 1365 approves the election of notaries public for Davidson County. 1366 recognizes Lawrence Jackson for his service to Metro Government. 1367 recognizes Tuesday, February 24th as World Spay Day. 1368 recognizes Yes Lord Radio's 5th anniversary. Do any of these need to be pulled? Okay, seeing none, we will need some committee reports. Councilmember Pridemore.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Budget and Finance voted on 2015-1348, 7-4-0 against. On 1349, Budget and Finance voted 8-4-0 against. 2015-1350, 1351, 1352, 53, and 55, Budget and Finance voted 9-4-0 against. 1356, 1357, 1358, 59, 60, 62, 63, and 64, Budget and Finance voted 10-4-0 against.
Thank you. Councilmember Gilmore.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Health, Hospitals, and Social Services Committee voted on Resolution 2015-1354, 1355, 1356, 1357, 1358, and 1359, 5-4, and 0 against.
Thank you. Councilmember Hunt.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Planning and Zoning Historical approved Bill 1361, 8-4-0 against.
Thank you. Councilmember Baker.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Public Safety Beer and Regulated Beverages approved 1352 and 1353, 3-4-0 against.
Thank you. Councilmember Anthony Davis.
Thank you. Public Works voted for 1360 and 1361, 6-4-0 against.
Thank you. Councilmember Harmon.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Rules, Confirmations, and Public Elections considered RS 2015-1365, 1366, 1367, and 1368, and approved 9 in favor, 0 opposed. And I would move approval of the consent agenda.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. We have one late filed resolution that will need a suspension of the rules for. Councilmember Gilmore, the nature of the emergency.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I am seeking a suspension of the rules. Tonight I plan to introduce a late resolution recognizing February as American Heart Month and designating Friday, February the 6th, 2015 as the 12th annual National Wear Red Day in the city of Nashville. A copy of the bill has been attached. It is my intention to have this prepared at the council office by 4 p.m. on January 13th, the following deadline, in a timely manner. However, due to not receiving the information, it was not ready that I actually received from the organization. I am therefore asking for your support and requesting a suspension of the rule.
Is there any objection to a suspension of the rule? Seeing none, this resolution recognizes February as American Heart Month and designates Friday, February 6, 2015, as the 12th Annual National Wear Red Day in the city of Nashville. Councilmember Gilmore.
Thank you. I move for approval. And committee reports, please.
Councilmember Harmon.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. The Rules, Confirmations, and Public Elections Committee considered this resolution and voted 9 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you. Councilmember Gilmore.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I move for approval.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. We're now at bills on introduction and first reading. Do any of these need to be pulled? Is there a motion for their approval? We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. Next is BL 2015-998, approves the Geographic Information System Street and Alley Centerline layer for Metro Government by abandoning portions of Park Avenue, Elkins Avenue, alley number 1198, and alley number 1199 right-of-way and easement. Councilmember Holloman.
Committee reports, please.
Councilmember Hunt.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Planning, Zoning, and Historic approved Bill 998-840 against.
Councilmember Harrison.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. In my absence, Councilman Larry Hager presided over that meeting.
Councilmember Hager.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Traffic and parking approved, 5-4, 0 against.
Councilmember Anthony Davis.
Thank you. Public Works approved 6-4, 0 against.
Thank you. Councilmember Holloman.
With those committee reports in, I move approval.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. BL 2015-999 abandons a portion of easement rights within a portion of the former alley number 1517 for property located south of 525 Stevenson Street. Councilmember Baker.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Committee reports, please.
Councilmember Hunt.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Planning, Zoning, and Historic approved Bill 999-840 against.
Councilmember Anthony Davis.
Thank you. Public Works voted in favor 6-4 and 0 against.
Councilmember Baker.
Move approval.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. BL 2014-896 changes 238.26 acres from RS5 to SP zoning for various properties located in District 5. Councilmember Anthony Davis.
I am been instructed to ask for do we have a committee report, please?
Councilman Hunt.
Thank you. Planning, Zoning, and Historic Committee approved 896-840 against. I'm sorry. It was a one-meeting deferral.
Thank you.
Approved 8-0.
Thanks, Council.
And I would request that one meeting deferral, please.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. BL 2014-897 changes 23.87 acres from R10 to RS10 zoning for various properties located along Auburn Lane, Dartmouth Avenue, Tulane Court, and Woodmont Lane. Councilmember McGuire.
Sorry, Vice Mayor. I would move to defer to, committee reports, please.
They're all in.
They're all in. I thought they were okay. I would move to defer to the second meeting in March, please.
We have a motion and a second to defer. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. BL 2014-985 changes .26 acres from R6 to SP zoning for property located at 1604 6th Avenue North to permit up to 4 residential units. Councilmember Gilmore.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Committee reports, please.
Councilmember Hunt.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Planning and Zoning Historic Committee approved Bill 985, 840 against.
Thank you. Councilmember Gilmore.
Move for approval.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. BL 2014-986 changes 9.89 acres from R15 to SP zoning for property located at 3939 Old Hickory Boulevard to permit up to 16 detached residential rental villas. Councilmember Hager.
Committee report.
Councilmember Hunt.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Planning and Zoning approved Bill 986, 840 against.
Thank you. Councilmember Hager.
Move for approval.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. BL 2014-987 changes 2.21 acres from IWD to CS zoning for properties located at 501 and 511 Royal Parkway. Councilmember Claiborne.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Could we have committee reports?
Councilmember Hunt.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Planning and Zoning approved Bill 987, 840 against.
Councilmember Claiborne.
Move for approval.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. BL 2014-988 changes .71 acres from RM20 to SP zoning for properties located at 1212 Hawkins Street, 1119 and 1121 Ziegler Street to permit up to 19 multifamily units. Councilmember Gilmore.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Committee reports.
Councilmember Hunt.
Yes, thank you, Vice Mayor. Planning and Zoning approved Bill 988, 840 against.
Thank you. Councilmember Gilmore.
Thank you. I move for approval with just a brief comment.
I have a motion and a second. Councilmember.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I just wanted to thank the developer, Bill Ruff, once again for working so diligently with the community. And I think it worked out to be a really good development because both parties were able to work together. So with that, I renew my motion.
Thank you. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. BL 2014-990 amends the Metro Code to modify the eligibility requirements for obtaining small business economic development incentive grants. Councilmember Maynard.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Do we need any committee reports? They're all in with all the committee reports in. I move for approval.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. BL 2014-991 amends the Metro Code provisions pertaining to the minimum wage contractors on Metro projects must pay and the payroll information to be retained. Councilmember Banks.
Seeing that all committee reports are in, Vice Mayor, I'd like to approve as amended.
The amendment was offered last time.
Gotcha. Okay. We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. BL 2014-993 amends the Metro Code to adopt regulations for low-speed vehicles. Councilmember Anthony Davis.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I would like to move approval.
Second. We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. BL 2014-994 authorizes the acquisition and acceptance of additional right-of-way slope easements and temporary construction easements necessary for property rights between 4th Avenue South and 8th Avenue South, including Fogg Street and 7th Avenue South for the closure of the CSX crossing as part of the Division Street extension. Councilmember Gilmore.
Thank you. With all committee reports in, I move for approval.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. Bill 2014-995 authorizes the acquisition of temporary and permanent utility easements relating to the installation of a new 8-inch water main along Brando Road and Hoggett Ford Road, and approves the form of a financing agreement and amends the Metro Code to allow for the financing agreement. Councilmember Stanley.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. With all committees approving, I move approval with a couple of comments.
We have a motion and a second. Councilman Stanley.
I would like to submit the Health Department's inspection of these 5 wells that exist on Hoggett Ford Road. This is a private street. It was built in 1930. It was a good, it was before there was a metropolitan government. And, but Metropolitan Water always stated to me that they would not extend water services down this private street because it is a private street. But because it was built in 1930, it was not subject to the same things that, services that private developers that operate, build PUDs or UDOs now are subject to. So these people had no opportunity to get any type of water services. I will say that the Tennessee General Assembly in April of 1995, they amended Tennessee Code Annotated that dealt with public services facilities. And they gave the opportunity, this amendment gave the opportunity to public utilities to acquire private utility groups in larger cities. Now, in June of 2003, there was an announcement made by Metro Water Services that they had definitely acquired the private Cumberland Utility District, and they were going to support this by providing water services to all the people that lived within the former Cumberland Utility District area. That was just about 2 months before I left office in the Metro Council. In August of 2007, I was reelected to the Metro Council. But one of the biggest projects that was brought to my attention was by the Hoggett Ford residents. These are resident homeowners that pay huge property taxes each year, but they receive hardly any municipal services. So I don't see any reason why these people should not be receiving the same services that the other people that are not paying as much property taxes are receiving. For 7 years, I worked with the residents, with Attorney John Cooper, with Metro Water Services, with Mr. Rieberling, the Director of the Department of Finance, and I want to voice my appreciation to all of them for their patience, for their understanding, and for their cooperation in this measure. I had the Health Department go and inspect these properties. I would like the Sergeant at Arms to take this and make this a part of the public record with the ordinance. They found in 4 of 5 wells either coliform or E. coli bacteria. Because these wells drain directly into the Stones River, which is a natural waterway for drinking water, natural source of drinking water for Metro Nashville, it was going to be have a drastic effect. And Metro health officials stated to me that these water wells needed to be boarded up. They should not be used for drinking or for bathing anymore. And these people on Hoggett Ford Road needed to be have access to Metro Water. Now, Brandau Road is a public street. It's directly contiguous with Hoggett Ford Road. And it has 6 industrial businesses, 6 residences, and there are 6 residences on the Hoggett Ford Road that will be receiving this water from this 6-inch water main. I'm appreciative of everyone's attempt to look at this and to realize that this is something that needed to be done. I had 4 community meetings from 2008 to 2011, and I am very, very appreciative of all of the cooperation that I've received from municipal officials, from homeowners, and also I would like to thank the Metro Council for supporting this night. Thank you.
All in favor, please say aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. BL 2014-996 adopts the Geographic Information System Street and Alley Centerline Layer as the official street and alley acceptance and maintenance record for Metro government. Councilmember Anthony Davis.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I would like to move approval, please.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. BL 2014-997 abandons the previously retained water and sewer easement rights for properties located at 1701 and 1707 Broadway and 115 17th Avenue South. Councilmember Gilmore.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. With all committee reports in, I move for approval.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All in favor, please.
Aye.
Sorry. And Claiborne had his button on too. Yeah. I'll be right.